Wow, well, the sun is setting here at Sydney Harbour, and it's like a who's who of the previous Olympic circuit. Can you introduce yourself to the camera and tell us a little bit about the Brazilian team?
Hey,
And this legend.
So Paul, you
Actually, you guys are in a hurry. We can do two at once.
double team.
So Paul Goodison, single-handed legend, and now actually the last few years we've been sailing things much faster. We talked today to Dylan Fletcher, Tommy, both single-handed sailors, and now AC to this. What's the transition like?
It's a huge transition. You go from being by yourself, looking after your own campaign, as Kahena will know in the Olympic stuff, you're very much a small team, to then come into a much bigger environment with a much wider range of people that have been involved in different amounts of sailing, different sorts of sailing, and it's awesome coming together as a new group, learning together and getting as much as you can from each other.
And for you, there's a lot of FX pairs, 49er pairs, NACRA pairs who's jumped into this. You're never far away from each other. We had a lovely chat with Martine yesterday.
Yeah, I think it's a cool group of friends around. But as Paul said, it's like a totally different sailing for us. Like sailing with big teams, it's something that we are still adapting to it. But it's lots of fun. Both it's really quick and fast reaction. So yeah, really nice.
I think one of the biggest challenges that people don't realise is that you come to sailing these sort of boats, and some of us have had a go in these since Bermuda, like almost 10 years ago, and then there's people that come in and haven't been exposed to that, and there's just no training time. So the new people to the group got to learn so quickly on the feet, but they're doing an amazing job. Like, it's so impressive of what some of the team members who have only been on the boat 10, 15 times are able to do. It's really rewarding to be involved with, and super exciting.
I mean, I've got to say, from a spectator point, it's super exciting. That we talk about Fast and Furious, but it's only when you see it real life on broadcast. I mean, what do you think about Shark Island being there?
Yeah, it was quite epic today. I mean, I wasn't sailing on the boat, but it was quite interesting, like which side to take, and like an island in the middle of the course. It's like something new for me.
I think it's something just new. It's possibly not good if it catches on. I mean, SailGP, it goes on and on and on. There's more teams, more teams. You know, is there a point where you can't all fit on the start line?
I think there is. I think that's what they're trying to get to, so they create more action. It's a little bit scary at times because the boats are getting so close with the foil sticking out the side. But it's again, it's testament to how good the people are sailing it that there's not more accidents. But it's pretty on the edge at times.
Yeah, but it wasn't me, but sailing journalists did say that it was expecting carnage, and I thought, don't tempt fate. But how was it compared to the AC campaign? Because that's something else which is just the cutting edge of the sport, and you haven't had much time off. I don't know how you do it.
Just enough time for the ribs to repair, and then I couldn't stay away for too long. But it is very different. Like I think the hardest bit for me is you gain confidence in your preparation. So you spent 2-3 years in an America's Cup campaign preparing yourself, and you've done all the groundwork, you've done all the preparation. So there's not really any excuses. You get all your confidence from that, and then you step into this environment, and it's hard to be confident because you haven't put the training time in or the practice time in. So you're learning on your feet. It's really dynamic about you. You're not always going to get it right, but you've got to learn faster than everybody else. And that's what's the exciting challenge.
And as a team, you know, every team, you would want to click your fingers. What's the big thing to sort out for the next event? Because the learning, it's like this. Like, they ask us for the Olympics, who's going to win medals? And I'd like to think a lot of the time I get 2 out of 3. But here, I haven't got a clue what's going to happen.
I think it's a little bit of everything. As a new team, we first of all, communication has been a big part of our test to...
I've got to say, I love it, the fact they give us your comms sometimes.
Oh, did you? Yeah, and many others, as Paul said, it's like we don't have many time on board. Like, we go straight into racing. It's quite challenging for a new team to run into time and try to catch the other teams that are sailing for a long time. So
it's a massive learning curve. And like, we come in, and as athletes, sportsmen, like, I'm gutted we don't do better. Like, I feel that we got so much potential, and you want to be winning, you want to be taking it to the top of them, and it's frustrating. But then on the flip side, you kind of look at where we were 2 days ago and where we are now, and it's pretty incredible of how we're stepping up, and there's so much to learn and so much to digest that it's kind of nice now. We've got 2 weeks to go away. Look at all the job lists that we created half an hour ago, that we've all got our own homework to go and research different things. We've all got our homework to come back with ideas for different ways of doing things, and then we have a couple of days when we get to LA to try and all come together as a group and do it again.
That was amazing. You asked my next question before before I got in there. But I do wonder, the T-foils, does that make it easier or harder for new teams stepping into the boat?
I personally think it makes it easier for some of us. Like you look, we've just dealt with T-foils in the America's Cup for the last 3 years, so we have a lot of knowledge and a lot of good ideas of what we should be doing. So I think for the people with AC experience, it probably makes it easier, and for the guys without, it probably makes it a little harder. But because you can see the data from all the other boats, because you can see what everybody else is doing, you can learn fast.
You should ask Andy this question.
Really? Okay. I mean, one of the things I always say is obviously you've recently done the transition, and Goody did his transition at workout. Do you have top tips for those current Olympic campaigners who want to be doing this in a few years' time?
Don't stop sailing, keep progressing, and sail with many boats as you can. And yeah.
I think you just got to be like a sponge. You have such an amazing opportunity to learn every second of the day, and the more you can soak up and take forward with you, you're going to be in an amazing situation in a couple of years' time when it comes to be your turn.
I'm not making it up. I said to Blackers this morning, I like coaching sponges, but I go off and I think, I'm a bit worried. I think they're going to lift the boat behind me, and if I stay too long, we might get packed in a container. But it's been lovely to talk to you both. This is my first 2-to-1 interview, so awesome. Thank you so much. Really, really good to see you, mate.
Good to see you, mate.